Welcome into Boxing Scene Today. Well, the greatest things in combat sports is the ability to make money and call your shot. And what we're seeing now is two different weight classes with big fights coming up in 2026. Guys calling their shots. Do we agree with the bullseye they have painted on their target? That is the question. To help me answer that, in studio, Jimmy Smith alongside the champ, Chris Algieri, Coach Garcia, and Paulie Malignaggi joining us via Zoom. And when you talk about two different divisions, with there's some shot calling going on, heavyweight and 140. Let's start out in the heavyweight division. Oleksandr Usyk in Thailand with the WBC, the convention there, talked about fighting Deontay Wilder, who is in the top 15 in the WBC. I think he's ranked 13th right now. An exciting fight, two big names. Is this a case, Chris, of the champ kind of getting to decide after running through the division that I can have a fun fight, big name, big payday?
Absolutely. He wants it. Give it to him. He's the man. He's the man to beat. He got stripped of his WBO title, which has now elevated Fabio Wardley into that position. But it's not like Wardley has been waiting outside to fight Usyk for a long time, like Joseph Parker was.
20 pro fights.
For example. He wasn't waiting that long. It's not like, he can wait a little bit longer. He can go get another fight. He can go defend his newly crowned title. But for Usyk, man, yeah, let him do what he wants. He's the man at the top of the division. Honestly, it's a big fight. I like the fight. I think it's cool. I've always thought about thinking about those two together was an interesting matchup because, listen, Wilder can still punch, man. That thing never goes away. He's got that right cannon of a right hand, and he's got the size, the reach, and it's a puzzle for Usyk to figure out. And he's one of the best puzzle figure-outers in the game, so I would like to see how he goes about that. I'm okay with this.
When you look at it, Coach, this contrast in styles, right? You got the hard-hitting puncher versus kind of the chess master. One thing, Usyk does have knockouts, never known as a one-punch knockout kind of guy. Real contrast in this fight. What do you think of it?
Look, I agree with Chris. It's a fun fight. There's bigger challenges out there, but he earned his position to ask for the fights that he wants, to choose his fights, and it'll be a big fight. Wilder is dangerous, has a great right hand, tremendous power, so it will be a challenge. But I like the fight. I will be tuning in. I think Usyk's talent is unbelievable, and will be able to handle the fight. But it will be a challenge because he still has to be aware of that power, that right hand that Wilder has. So it is a good challenge that's going to have us wanting to watch the fight and during the fight excited about the fight to see if Wilder ever lands that right hand. But look, Usyk has the skills, the talent, well deserved. Choose a fight that you want to fight, and it's actually a big fight. It will be big. People will tune in, so can't wait for it.
Yeah, this idea, Paulie, this is the last big name on his resume. He has wiped out an entire era of heavyweights, and in most cases, he's done it more than once. This idea that Deontay Wilder, perhaps the last big name he hasn't fought, is that why he wants to check it off the list to you?
Is it about big names? Why doesn't he go call Vladimir Klitschko again then? What are we talking about, guys? What are you smoking? What you was on? You both agreed? Did you watch?
They both agreed. I heard it.
Did you watch Wilder's last fight? Because I watched it. I couldn't even finish it. I went to sleep. That's how bad it was. That's how bad he looked. That's not a guy who should be fighting for a heavyweight title anymore. Yes, he had a good career. He was very good at one time. Yada, yada, yada. I admit it. And, of course, acknowledge it rightfully so. But I don't know, bro. I at this point, Deontay against Vladimir Klitschko is more competitive than Deontay against Usyk. Come on, bro. What are we talking about? Did you guys see the way Wilder looked in that last fight?
Either. But listen, the guy. You got to give some grace to Usyk. How many poorly
Grace? This is a dead guy. What grace? Yeah. That's not grace.
How many dead guys have been
pulling the corpse out
to fight heavyweight champions for titles for mandatory?
Come on.
Not mandatory, for chosen defenses. Who
Come
cares?
on.
Listen,
I get you want to do a little bit of it. I get. If that's the case, fight Joseph Parker then. Come on, dude. Come on, really. Come on. If you're gonna go that route, fight Joseph Parker.
No, he's looking to close out exactly what Jimmy said. He's looking to close that circle. He beat Tyson Fury. He beat Anthony Joshua. The only guy missing from those horsemen is Wilder. So he's looking to close that circle.
Does anybody really think Wilder would beat him anyway? Does it matter? Sometimes fights don't happen.
Usyk is why it matters. Do you think anyone beats Usyk?
Oh, come on,
Do you think anybody?
He should have beat him in the '08 Olympics, but he went and got beat by Clemente Russo, who then beat Wilder in the next fight. Had he beaten Clemente Russo in '08, he would have got to beat Wilder at the Olympics in '08. Instead, he wants to fight him now. Come on, guys. Come on, seriously, guys. The belts are not charity. Okay, I stick by what I stick to my guns. The way when there's a champion, you cannot be charity. Okay, there's no charity champions here. There's nothing about nobody. Who cares about closing out that chapter?
Usyk does. Usyk cares. What do we call it? Obviously, he cares.
Okay, but why does anybody else care? That again, I'm basing this.
You know why they care? Because we're all going to tune in. We're all going to tune in. That's why.
Tune in. I went to sleep during Wilder's last fight.
You're not going to tune in. You're going to tune in too. You're going to tune into this fight.
Yeah, until I go to sleep again. Unless Usyk sleeps some earlier than that. Come on.
You know, he's standing up for the integrity of titles. That's what Paulie does. He stands up for the integrity of titles. I applaud you, Paulie. Good stuff, man.
Where is your integrity of titles these days? What are we talking about now? Now we're making things up. Now we're really making things up.
Well, I'm going to stand up for it.
Paulie's still
Then go to fight for all these stupid titles that are getting thrown around and guys coming off losses and getting title shots.
All right, well,
I complain about that too.
So Paulie, let's move to our next subject here. Announced for January 31st, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson for Teofimo Lopez's 140-pound title. You know, to Paulie's point, Chris, this is two great fighters in their prime in an action-packed fight that everybody wants to see. It's almost the opposite of the kind of cherry-picking that we have been talking about, even if you believe Usyk earns it. This is one of those where boxing fans, hardcore, can't wait to see it.
This is for the integrity of the sport. Yeah. This is a throwback matchup where you got two guys in their primes, in their physical primes, putting it all on the line. Yes, Teofimo has a loss to a really bad night against Kambosos, but other than that, I mean, the guy has had a stellar run so far. And then you got Shakur Stevenson, who is, I mean, everyone who's in the know knows how good that kid is. And this is an opportunity for both of them, really, of course. But let's just take it, say Shakur wins the fight. He gets the recognition that he deserves. He's not the global star that he probably should be based on his skill set because he hasn't had the opportunity, the dance partners, to show his true skills. This is that dance partner. You handle Teofimo Lopez, everyone's going to have to pay attention to you now. Teofimo wins. Listen, he's been chomping at the bit to be the guy, and he just hasn't gotten to the position that he really thinks that he deserves or the money that he thinks he deserves. This is an opportunity for both of these guys to really step into the next echelon. And they're both fantastic fighters in very different ways. It's an interesting matchup. And I think this is really good for the health of the sport in general.
What you want, Coach Garcia, is always pound-for-pound implications in a fight. The winner of this, pound for pound, elevates themselves dramatically. Is the war here between the great boxing and consistency of Shakur Stevenson and maybe the raw talent but inconsistency of Teofimo Lopez? Is that the story to you?
No, that's the fight that needs to happen. You know, both are very talented. Both are big names in boxing. I think it's awesome that we're getting this fight early next year, and it'll be one of those fights where the winner does become top 5, top 6 pound for pound guys in the world, because it is that good. You know, Shakur, we all know, great talent, very smart in the ring, and Teofimo, tremendous heart. Great skills too. He's already done it. He's already challenged himself against the best in his divisions, and it just makes it a great fight. You know, that's the fight that I'm excited about for early next year. It's can't wait for it to happen, because it is going to be one of those fights where the winner does become top 5, top 6 pound for pound.
Now, when you look at Teofimo Lopez's history, you talk about the bad night, Chris, against Kambosos. Paulie, this idea that even taking away the bad loss against Kambosos, he has looked phenomenal. He's looked pedestrian. It's this idea that what kind of Teofimo Lopez shows up, and we know what kind of Shakur Stevenson is going to show up. Is that the drama of the fight?
You know, the kind of Teofimo Lopez that shows up, the most dangerous kind, and I'm going to tell you why. Every time Teofimo Lopez has been counted out in his career, he puts on career best performances. There's been 2 times where Teofimo was supposed to lose, and in people's eyes, and people counted him out. Lomachenko and then Josh Taylor. Both times, he came in and looked stellar. There are nights Teofimo underperforms when he's supposed to look good, and that's why he's an enigma. But this is the kind of night where he's going to be maybe an underdog. People are going to count him out. This is when he's going to come his most dangerous. If Shakur Stevenson beats this Teofimo Lopez, this is a big credit to Shakur Stevenson, but it's going to be a very big ask because Teofimo Lopez, when his back is against the wall, we've seen him put on his career best performances.
Yeah, what about, of course, the move up? 140 pounds is Teofimo Lopez's wheelhouse. Big, physical, strong, excellent puncher. This idea that Shakur is moving up in weight, but more of a boxer. He has the defensive skills. What do you think about the weight class?
I don't think it really matters. Teofimo's not a big 40-pounder, and Shakur is a big 35-pounder. So I think he'll handle the weight just fine. Also, you mentioned his style. Stylistically, I don't think it has any effect. These guys, their skills are sublime, and they're not related as much to the weight class as much as anything because they've got such a deep bag. And Teofimo Lopez, he's athletic, he's explosive, he hits hard enough. To get respect. And then Shakur, obviously just a master of distance and completely manipulates the range of his opponents and is able to disarm them off defensively. One of the best defensive fighters in recent memory. So the way these two are going to clash, I don't think the weight class matters. I don't think it matters if they're 35 or 40 or even 47. These guys they're going to match wits and they're going to match skill and they're going to match talent. That's all that really matters.
All right. When of course with the loss of Canelo Alvarez to Terrence Bud Crawford, a big talk in. Please, Paulie.
Guys, I'm going to jump in mood today. I'm in a contradictory mood today.
So you're awake.
The weight
Love it.
doesn't matter because Teofimo was smoking people at lightweight. So Teofimo's power against smaller guys, it was very destructive. If you remember some of his knockouts at lightweights, he's a destructive puncher against those kind of guys. And remember, as good as Shakur is, he's still a former featherweight, so he's of the natural size of the kind of guys that Teofimo was exploding against. Again, not to say I'm picking Teofimo to win the fight. I really don't know yet, man. It's really that kind of fight. And if Shakur wins, it's a very big credit to him because again, it's a difficult Teofimo Lopez to deal with when he's an underdog or when people are counting him out. But I will say, I think the weight does matter because Teofimo against lightweights. And guys who were coming up from below lightweight when he was fighting lightweight, he was destructive with that kind of power.
Paulie, when was the last time you were around either one of these guys, physically?
I was around them. No, I know. Size-wise, I know.
Shakur's bigger. Shakur's bigger than him.
But Richard Coleman, is a big lightweight. Look what Teofimo did to him. A lightweight is still a lightweight. A junior lightweight is still a junior lightweight. And Teofimo was hurting those kind of guys.
Yeah, but Comey was killing himself to make lightweight. I was in the gym with him. I saw how that went. Shakur is going to be strong. Also, you don't hit Shakur, so it's not like you can't really compare the two. I don't think the weight's going to matter. The weight's not going to matter.
Hard to hit Shakur, but again, Lopez has that explosive power. Then whether he lands it or not, of course, that remains to be seen. But this is going to be a difficult Lopez to deal with. So,
Coach Garcia, beyond the nuts and bolts, as I said about Canelo Alvarez losing to Bud Crawford, who's going to be the next big star in the sport? Who's our bankable pay-per-view? Do you think the winner of this fight not just elevates themselves in the pound for pound, not just makes themselves great in the eyes of the boxing dorks like us, but the idea that they could be a crossover star? Do you see that happening with the winner, Coach?
Look, I see it happening with the winner, but not after that fight. I think they still need a few more fights at 140 and maybe jump to the welterweight division to be able to become that star, the pay-per-view guy. Look, both of them are excited. Both of them are great fighters, great talent. I agree with the weight. I'm gonna try to bring it into so you guys could understand me as a trainer. A lot of fighters, when they're hurting themselves and killing themselves to make weight, it's actually better to go to a different weight class. And 5 pounds is gonna make a big difference for Shakur. I know he's a big boy, and I know he was a 130 pounder and he's been moving up in weight, but he is a big boy and he does. It's not easy to make 135. So like Chris was saying, at 140. He's going to be much better. Those 5 pounds are going to help him. Teofimo's already been there. Teofimo's done it just like Paulie was saying. He's hurt a lot of guys. He's knocked out guys at 135. But in this fight, I think 140 is perfect for both because they're both going to be fresh. They're not going to kill themselves to make the weight. And it's going to be a very, very even fight. It's a hard pick. I can't pick. I can't really decide who's going to win. It could go both ways. But yeah, the weight, I think it's going to be great for both. I think we're going to get them both at the best at 140.
Well, fortunately, I have plenty of time. It is end of January, so we break it down right here on Boxing Scene Today a lot. But let me go back to that real quick, that idea of you got to go to 47 to be a star. We saw my childhood in the 80s, the 90s, it's very difficult to market a fighter below 147 pounds. Extremely difficult. That's why so many all-time greats, be it Floyd Mayweather, be it obviously De La Hoya, Pernell Whitaker, any of those guys who were a little bit lighter, they all had to make their names at 147 pounds. Roberto Duran had to do it. This idea that 47 recently hasn't been great. The talent that we're used to seeing at 47 isn't really there. Do you still believe in that idea, Chris, that you got to go to 47 to be a star? Is it just a size thing now?
I don't believe it anymore because we're seeing a lot of lighter weight fighters get a lot of attention. Bam Rodriguez for one. He's 115, 118. He still gets a ton. He's main events of shows. I don't think it matters as much. And even a few years back, 26 was hot. You had Merrick Morales, you got Barrera, it was Pacquiao who came out of there. So you're seeing more and more on this side of the world these lighter weights getting more attention. So I don't think it matters as much. You have to get to that welterweight title because we got so many weight classes now, and we've removed ourselves so much from the original weight classes that I don't think the size matters that much. That being said, heavyweight will always matter the most because that's where the money's going to be at because that's heavyweight.
Big knockout, boys, but 140 pounds definitely heating up end of January. As the fight gets closer, we'll break it down right here on Boxing Scene Today. It's going to be fun. And everybody, you got to make your picks. We're going to do it here. Join us, find out why millions are watching.